I'm Lindsay, and this is my husband Angelo, but we call him Ange. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and Ange is a full-time entrepreneur. He fixes up the worst of the worst rental homes and transforms them into something beautiful, but we also have a landscaping business on the side. Together, we have 3 kids and are starting a homestead from scratch on our 30 acres. We live in our barn dominium right now until we start a forever home build. We believe in working hard, playing even harder, and bringing the old-fashioned values back into the home. We have no idea what we're doing half the time, but we know with God, our family can accomplish great things. Hi guys, welcome to Brown's Family Homestead. We have months worth of footage, so it's all, you almost see every season in Michigan in this video because I've been recording for months of our garden coming to life. And right behind me, the garden fencing is done and it's incredible. So the whole point of this video is to, you're probably gonna hear crowing, is to give you some practical ideas for garden fencing. This may not be practical to some, but it's practical for our area because we have rodents and deer that can get into our garden. So we are a homesteading from scratch channel. We are a beginner homesteading channel, and so another point of this video is to tell the people out there that are overwhelmed with the thought of homesteading, overwhelmed with the thought of gardening, or we're getting meat chickens in the spring. You see a lot of videos on YouTube that people have they're already experts, and those are awesome people to grab tools from and to learn from. But we feel like we never watch videos where people are like, hey, I'm overwhelmed with the idea of this. I don't even know where to start. And that is our channel. We are overwhelmed with the idea of gardening. We don't know a lot. We're spending the whole winter doing podcasts and books. There's just a lot that goes into it. And when we lived in a subdivision, we had 6 raised beds, and that was super manageable. That's not overwhelming. But when you see what's behind me, it's huge. We have a huge garden area, but we're not starting off big. We're actually growing as we grow with it, so we don't create a lot of waste, and it's just super practical because we have a young family. We have an almost 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 4-year-old. So we have sports. I'm homeschooling, so it's just, we have a lot going on, and I know that there's a lot of people out there that can relate to that. So this whole channel is to bring you along and not share content that's like, hey, we don't know what we're talking about, but it's to do the work for you and combine it all in a video. So all the things that we learn, we will be giving it from a beginner's perspective of like, hey, we tried this and it really worked and it was really easy and practical because we have a family and we have a lot of stuff going around. So we are creating a self-sustainable life. We're trying to, but we don't want to burn out, and we want it to be super practical and fun for our family. So we know that there's a lot of families out there that could benefit from that we wish we saw more videos of, instead of just, hey, we made it and this is where we're at, and it's almost overwhelming to hear because you're like, man, these people really have a wealth of knowledge, but I'm not even there. I'm not there yet. Like, I need baby talk, like I need baby food right now, and we're kind of the baby food. But also doing like trial and error and being honest with things that didn't work for us. One thing that we're doing is we're saving eggshells right now. Our chickens, we're keeping the eggshells in a jar, we're crushing them, and we're gonna spread them around our tomato plants and peppers, and we're trying to be proactive in the winter time so we can have a thriving garden. But yeah, if you guys are new to this channel and you are wanting to create a self-sustainable life, a homestead, but you also have a family and other stuff going around, this is the channel for you, because we honestly want to just help you and not feel overwhelmed in doing it. And this can be really enjoyable for your family, and you can learn a lot, and it's exciting to learn, but sometimes it's overwhelming. So this is months worth of footage of our garden fencing that we're going to bring you along, and we'll kind of give you details after of like what to expect in the springtime from this garden that we have. But yeah, we have a lot of content. We have meat birds coming this spring in 2023 and a garden, and there's just going to be a lot of new and a lot of trial and error, and we're going to bring you along for all of it. So on to the fencing. So tonight we decided that we were going to do the perimeter and plan out our garden layout. So right now it is September 2022, so I don't know when YouTube will see this video, but we have the whole thing measured out and spray painted around the perimeter. And then Ange was like, hey, why don't I go get the tiller and till the perimeter so we get an even better idea of what it's gonna look like. So that's what we're doing right now. Things escalated quickly. All right, Daddy's gonna till the land for our garden. Oh my gosh. So this is where the barn was buried. I don't know if you could hear him say that, but it is, he is pulling some stuff up right now. Oh my. He's smiling. I'm over here nervous something's gonna come hit. Oh. That was a little intense.
Not all.
Oh my gosh.
Digging up the barn. Spiders.
So I'll give you a little bit of an idea of how big it is, but I also will include drone footage so you'll really know. But all right, Ange is hooking up the sprayer so we can weed kill the garden.
Yep.
Pretty self-explanatory. Staying kind of far away for obvious reasons. Don't really want to get weed killer on me. And then across the pasture you have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old on huge piles of dirt. Living the best nature's playground. It is mid-October and I'm about to bring you guys down to the garden. Ange is disking it right now. So from my view from the barn, it looks really good. So I'm excited to show you guys. It's raining, so I can't have my camera out for too long, but so this is where our barn was when we moved here. There was a huge barn that sat right over where this garden is, so there's a ton of concrete because we buried it. There's a ton of concrete, wood, all that junk. So when he tilled it, it was like, it was bad, constantly hitting concrete and all that. So this disking that he's doing right now is pretty much like a determining factor if we're gonna have to haul in topsoil and do that, or if we can use some of our compost pile and that would be good enough. But you'll hear it. Sometimes he'll like hit big rocks and it's like pretty bad, but hopefully when he's done with this, he'll say, we just need compost and we'd be good. And because he just disked, all the chickens are so happy because now there's like bugs, worms. It is November 17th, 2022. I'm pretty sure in this video you've seen all seasons in Michigan. It's snowing.
Couple inches together. Yeah.
No, Benny.
It's coming along now. They're gonna put the boards. Okay, rudely interrupted. Now they're gonna put them on the top, boards on the top and the bottom. It's gonna look so good. Oh, snowball hit me. Mason, what are you doing? Speaking of fencing, this is not our garden fencing, but this is cattle fencing. So another thing about our farm is that we aren't going to be getting a ton of beef cattle. It's just going to be for our family, maybe for some family and friends, but we don't ever plan on having more than 6 at a time. So our cattle fencing is going up right now, which it's looking pretty good. Here is our finished fenced in garden. And we'll give you a tour, tell you our plans of why it's so big, what we plan on doing for the first year as we grow and learn more about gardening. But I'll give you a little tour. So right here we have the opening, and it can fit a side-by-side in a tractor, so we can till up the land, restart our garden, just all of that. So we have our gates right here. And then there's like this fencing right here too that the chickens can't get in, the one in the very back, because we wanted this to be chicken proof. Growing up, my mom had a garden and the chickens never bothered the garden, but I just know every flock of chickens is different, and we didn't want to have to run into issues where our chickens were getting into our veggies. So this is our first little gate right here. So once you're in the garden area, we had our chicken door for the run, obviously right here, but we're gonna close that off because we don't want any of the chickens to come in here. So this is just gonna be a door that we can get in if we ever need to go into the run. And we'll be putting a automatic chicken door through like over there, so they can just go out as they please, come back in, and there doesn't have to be a door that's constantly open like this one, and they can't get into our garden. And then we will have a door right here that we can get in, because our house is going to be built right over there, so it's just easy access to get into the garden. And then we have a hydrant. Ange is outside power washing, he's frozen, so, and he also has a cool get up on, but he's going to tell you about the garden fencing.
These are frog togs.
Frog togs.
This is the get up. It's pretty cold today, like 32. So we did the garden fencing. We just did 4x4 posts, augered them out, set the posts. We have a company coming in here to do it, so they let me help a little bit to decrease labor costs. So we did 4x4 posts. We did welded wire. So this is just to keep the deer out, keep our chickens out, keep other animals out. You know, eventually I think we'd like to put some rocks around the bottom border. We didn't do any kind of netting on the bottom to keep anything from digging. So if we see that problem area, then we'll deal with it then. But this is mainly for the deer. So it's 6 feet high, which technically deer can jump over 6 feet, but we're gonna test it and see. If they are jumping over it, we just kind of, maybe we'll do some ribbon or something. But yeah, so we have a 10-foot gate on one end to fit the tractor through. So one thing that I'd recommend is if you have a tractor or anything that you're gonna be going in there and tilling, or let's say you have to get a pickup truck in there, make sure it's wide enough. Then we have like a 4-foot man door for us to just walk in there for the garden, for picking vegetables or anything like that. So,
How big is it?
I don't know. We haven't decided. We haven't figured that out yet. We just kind of went with like a linear footage, and I forgot that as well. But so it's 4x4 posts. We had to auger them in. We have a 2x4 on top and a 2x4 on bottom, and then we have welded wire stapled to the back side of it. And yeah, that's it.
Thanks.
I think it'll work.
We're using the winter time to learn, do podcasts, do books. So if you are overwhelmed with the thought of gardening, you are not alone. We are too, but we're gonna do the headache work for you so you're not as overwhelmed. We can handle 6 raised beds like we did in a subdivision, but once you get a little bit bigger than that, it starts to get a little overwhelming with not wasting food and getting things that you're actually gonna eat at a dinner table and you're actually gonna can. So make sure you subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any gardening content, and we make videos every single weekend, and we'll see you next weekend.